Hello. Hello, hello. Hi. Hi. Okay, so what needed to happen was that I realized my stream was not on low latency. It was probably on like normal latency, and I need to like set it up every time or something. It's weird, but I forgot to set it to that, and so I realized I wanted, because this is more of like a chatting stream, that I would want the stream to have less of a delay so that I'd be able to talk with people. Oh, and we are going to be keeping the stream a little bit shorter. So we might be going until 5, 5:10, like max maybe like 5:10. So I have an alarm set for like 5:05 to remind myself to like kick myself off the live. I am waiting for chat to show up on screen. It always takes a second. Let me chat, wake up. The Oh, there we go. Hi. Okay, if you type stuff like hi chat. Okay, it's showing up on screen now, which is good. That's okay. I have homework tonight anyway. Hi chat. Hi. Hi. That's me saying hi to myself. Hi. I have snacks. I have hummus and chips and more chips. I have chips for the hummus and I have chips. Um oh, my okay, give me 1 second. Let me mute. Someone sent me a message and I have to just give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. I received a message and I wanted to respond right away. Yeah, I know. That was pretend that didn't happen. Hello, welcome to the stream. The stream just started right now. And I have snacks for us to enjoy. I mean, mostly it's from me, and you can't actually eat any of this, but you can pretend that you're eating some. It's okay. What's okay? What are you talking about? Everything's been fine. But I have hummus, I have chips, and I have chips for the hummus. I have chips that are not for the hummus, and then I have chips that are for the hummus. No, what message? What message? What are you talking about? That didn't happen. This is a completely professional stream. I don't answer messages in the middle of stream, right? Anyway, so how are you today? I can. It's been a long time since I've had lunch with a bunch. I know I've been eating on stream, just regular streams, but this is a stream dedicated to just talk and eat, and it's more beyond than just a Zatsu, aka just chatting. A stream in which you just chat. This is a stream where I am deliberately eating and chatting, mostly because it is like that time of day where I'm hungry, and so I already am scheduled to stream, so I always just decide to eat while I'm on stream. I know we had some other viewers. So okay, as I have now privated one of the streams, the stream that was like awake for maybe 30 seconds until I realized I was on the wrong latency. Let's see. Man, okay. Oh, right. Okay, so there were viewers who showed up to the stream that was like the 30-second stream. I hope they come back. I'm pretty sure they're still around, but I know they said hi. I would like to say hi back. Hi. Sorry that I had to like kick everyone off of the first live because I did a goof, and I'm trying to remember that the stream should be on low latency and not normal latency. Lol, anyway. I just had school as normal, but teachers got a notice to enforce the cell phone policy today. What is the cell phone policy? What is the cell phone policy now today in the schools? Because for us, it was keep it on silent, not even on vibrate, right? Keep it on silent, keep it away, don't have it out, or else like the teacher will see that you have the phone out while they're talking and giving instruction. There's no time during the class when you're even allowed to have your phone out for us, because you're either not paying attention or you're cheating. Like if you're in the middle of doing some kind of assignment or an exam and they see your phone, they're automatically going to confiscate your phone and even like make. We had some teachers, and I was okay with this because it was funny, that they would like stop the exam, make you call your parents in the middle of the exam in front of everybody, apologizing to your parents because the teacher tells like the students' parents like, hey, they had their phone out during a test and we are making them call you in front of everybody on like the school telephone, right? So that was I remember that, and I remember it so vividly that they had their phone out during an exam, and then they received like a 0 because this is a no tolerance cheating policy, right? They see you on your phone while you're taking a test or an exam, and I know like everyone is supposed to like be uninterrupted and continue doing the exam or whatever, but it was so funny. It was so funny to like chastise this student in front of everybody. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I would do that sort of same teaching style, but it was funny. I won't argue with the way that the teacher wanted to do it that way because it was funny. It was so funny. But yeah, so I actually had my last day of courses yesterday. I still have finals week, but in terms of lectures, I am done with going to any lectures. I have finished my final projects for 2 of the classes that I'm in, like my studio courses, like the courses I actually care about, where I learn stuff about design. I take studio courses for being a design major, and I finished the projects for that. And those classes are so easy to me, but there's like this other class that I'm taking that I find a lot more difficult because it's like memorizing dates, numbers, names, and I'm like, oh no. I'm better at memorizing the concepts of the time period, but I'm really bad at like, and I don't want to keep telling myself that I'm bad because then it's just going to reinforce that I'm bad at it, but like I'm bad at memorizing names, dates, and numbers, and being all like, oh, can you like compare these to blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh no, I'm really bad at that. Well, my school specifically, only my school, came up with this policy last month. But like, what it is that teachers have to do this if you use your phones without permission in the classrooms. Right. Okay, that makes sense. There should be something like that where the students, when they use their phone, that in the classrooms the teachers have some form of policy of what they're supposed to do to handle that. That makes sense. Now, what is the way that they handle it is what I'm asking. Also, just as a, this is sort of like a happy thing that I received this email this morning, and I was really, I mean, there's more words than just happy, but I want to say that, hey, something good for once. Like, I wake up, I get a notification in my email, my inbox, and it's good news. That's pretty rare. This is like the best news I've received in a long time. There's like many good things that are happening, and there's a lot of things that are happening, but this was good news in my inbox. And recently I participated in a student art show where you can submit your work for the gallery, which is somewhat part of like the class participation, is that you in this class make stuff, and that at the end of the semester or year they ask that you submit some of your classwork from that semester that you've taken in the courses, and that when we hang that up in the gallery, you can actually put a price on your work. And people, when they go around, they'll see the price, they'll see the name, they'll see like the title and everything, that they can actually ask to purchase the work from the students, and the students will actually receive that money. And so I got it. Ooh, foreshadowing. I got an email today saying both of the works that I had submitted had been purchased. I knew that I had sold one. I knew one person went up to me saying, I liked what you said about your piece, that they really liked it and they wanted to buy it, and told me that they had bought it. So I knew one of them was sold. That was the one that I knew probably was going to get sold, and it was cheaper too. What I was more surprised by was there was one that took more effort for me to make, but I wasn't sure it was going to resonate with anybody as much as the first one. The first one was like a little bit more general, a little bit more like anyone can apply themselves to it, but the second one, I wasn't so sure. It was something that I personally find cool, but that like I did it because it was an art gallery for myself, and then secondary to that, it's all like, oh, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it. This is the price. And I listed that price higher because it took more work to actually make, and it had, like, personally to me, more emotional depth, but it's harder to read and understand if you're not me, because it was actually a piece related to my lore for being a streamer. It was like a poster, and there's only one print of this. The rest is digital, right? I have this digitally posted on my Instagram. You can go check it out on my Instagram. You can even see it on my Twitter because I talked about it on Twitter. But that someone who I probably don't know, or maybe I do know, they bought it. They didn't tell me, but they did buy it. And it was more expensive, a little bit higher priced. I think it was fair market value, considering it's like one print. There is only one print. I am not going to make more prints because I just don't have the resources to make more prints, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to make prints of my lore. That's the thing. It's like, it's just prints of, it was, right? It was me as a streamer, and I have lore, and I made a poster collage related to that lore, and then I actually hung that in a gallery, and someone paid the price that I put on that piece. Now, I won't say what the prices are, but I think fair market value, and I was really happy that I was able to get monetary compensation for literally schoolwork. And so I will continue reading what you were talking about, though. First time, there is a verbal warning to put the phone away. That makes sense. Second time, your house gets called. That makes sense. Third time, fill out removal form and your phone will be pouched at the scanning security for a certain amount of time. For us, though, the first time is a warning, the second time, your phone will get confiscated and you'll get a phone call. Like 2 and 3 are combined together. They will take your phone and they'll put it like in the drawer and keep it there for like the whole period. However, if it happens again on a different day, the this the punishment or whatever, it's the consequences are a little more harsh, where they can actually take your phone and put it in the office and it'll be gone all day. And repeated offenses or more repeated offenses, like the severity of the consequences would get more severe, right? But yeah, moral of the story, just don't have your phone out during class. It's not worth it. You're there to learn. It's more important that you learn. Okay, so those are some of the things that I've been thinking about. Okay. There was some stuff that I don't know if this is something I necessarily want to put on the internet, but this is a Munch with a Bunch stream, and that's a stream where I'm like, I just want to talk about anything, right? And like debating whether or not I want to bring this up, but I kind of do want to bring it up. Now that I've already started talking about it, I do already want to talk about it. And so I will read your comment first before I dive into my thing, because I'm still debating on whether or not I want to talk about my thing. With the pouch thing, my school does scanning with metal detectors every day. Okay, with the pouch thing, my school does scanning with metal detectors every day. So if you get the pouch, it can technically be done for the like for nearly the whole semester. But yeah, I think I remember the pouch thing. That was at a comedy show. Some form of the pouch thing, right? Is where you have to lock up your phone, like silence it, turn it off, whatever. Lock it up, put it inside the pouch, and the pouch will get locked, and it cannot unlock until you're done with the show or you have to leave or whatever. And that is to prevent people from taking photos, recording, and having interrupting calls during the show. However, some people are still dumb, where they won't silence their phone correctly or whatever. Wait, I might need to sneeze. Okay, I don't need to sneeze. Maybe I'll sneeze later, but there are people who, just like even at the movie theaters, they tell you to silence your phones. They do not properly silence their phones, because there are people out there who do not know how to silence their phones. And so they will go to these events, movie theaters and comedy shows, and their phones will ring. So the problem is further amplified by putting this person's phone that had their alarm going off inside a pouch that they cannot access, and they have to like get up out of their seat, walk over to like the attendant person who put your phone in a pouch, have them open the pouch, turn off the ringer. It's so annoying, but I get it. I get the whole, like, it prevents most issues, like not having people recording the show. That's the main thing, right? You don't want people on their phones recording the whole show when they're actually supposed to be there sitting enjoying the comedy show, right? However, I've also seen some other dumbasses put their electronic devices into that pouch, and then when it's time to leave, they forget their pouch. I was like, you forgot your phone? on like the chair. I was like, y'all don't. I don't know. I think they were just too drunk, right? Some of these comedy clubs are even in bars or whatever, and or they serve alcohol. They have an alcohol bar, but it's a comedy club or something like that. And they I will just like check around my table, being all like, oh, well, did I get all of my stuff? And then I find an extra pouch. And I'm like, whose is this pouch? And then we have to like turn it into security, being all like, hey, like someone, like, they left their pouch here. Can you like hold on to it until they get it back or something? And I mean at like the start, because my school is considering a scanning school. It's considered a scanning school. All us students must go through a metal detector at the start of school opening and put our bags in a conveyor belt. Yeah, you have to go to like school TSA. So, that thing that I was thinking about, talking about. Oh, or plus we need to take off all the metal to avoid setting it off. Yeah, there's that. Don't go to school with copious amounts of metal. But the thing that I was thinking about, because I'm gonna be honest and transparent on my platform, and hey, maybe someone might see it and understand like, hey, what's this person's side of the story? And so I don't know if I necessarily feel good or bad or whatever. I feel something about this situation, and like I did something on Twitter, no surprise there, and there are people who I, label as aunties or whatever, and they'll call me out on my behavior, being all like, hey, this is not okay, this is not good etiquette, this is no decor, you have poor decorum, you have no etiquette, you have blah blah blah, you aren't supposed to do this, you aren't supposed to do that. And my favorite comment of all, whenever I see this, I'm all like, okay, now I understand you don't know anything, is when they say, I feel sorry for blah 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 liver, right? I'm a fan to these people that I Oshi, and those streamers, when I'm in their chats, they, enjoy my presence, they read my comments, they laugh, everyone laughs. If you were a part of the tighter, closer knit community, you would understand I engage in this community and I have whatever recognition that I have in those communities, right? And for the people who are outside of that and they don't know me, they'll see the things that I do and they're all like, that's not right, that's not okay, you're not allowed to do that. And I was like, I don't take them seriously. I do get where they're coming from about like, oh, this is poor decorum. I was all like, okay, I get I'm not technically like the unspoken rules say that I shouldn't do that. But I've always been someone who's all like, fuck the rules. Yeah, you get one curse word this stream, and that's not for like no reason. I don't say screw the rules for no reason. I'm like, I always challenge which rules that I think I want to challenge, and I'm not going to be punished for it. I've done this so many times now, but it's like so many times people have seen me do this, they get really pissed, right? It's the same people, and a general similar group of people always come after me, being all like, I am always going to hate follow, hate watch this person. Like, they don't mute or block me, they literally will just leave comments saying, I feel sorry for this liver. Also, like, if you've ever been in their streams and seen me interact with them, they're happy that I'm there and we enjoy, like, and the entertainment that is the stream. And so, again, I say that when I see these people in the comments saying, I feel sorry for this person, like, I know that they don't know, right? I know what I know, and I know that they don't know that, right? I know what I know about how I interact with this liver, and there's a rapport, right? The rapport. You need to establish me talking, me speaking. There's a difference. But I've had to outline that difference. Also, like, I'm going to be the one that outlines that difference. So that was something that happened recently, like 2 days ago, probably like 2 days ago or something. I did something on Twitter again. And of course, when it catches the attention of people outside of my circle, or they're like very, very far on that periphery of the circle where they're just looking inward or looking in towards me, they're like viewing me, right? But they're on the outer skirts of the circle, and never talked to me once, never interacted with me once, but they'll notice me. They'll keep noticing and keep tabs of like all the things they disagree with what I do. And yeah, I'll throw them a bone. I'll say I feel a little bit hurt, but I know it also makes the broth taste better, right? These bones make the broth taste better when you let them stew for longer. And so I keep what they say. I know the whole like they live rent free in my head. The whole like hater, like people who you love are always in your heart. People who you hate are always on your mind, right? So it's like, oh, I don't like these people. But I've always tried to have like a loving, caring relationship with people who hate me, because I'm like, I appreciate that you hate me. I know this is like a reversal, like a transmutation, where I always come to this agreement with myself that I'm like, no, I actually welcome them to my casket. Haha. I appreciate them. I welcome them in the sense that I actually appreciate what they do for me, because they make me stand out more. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm okay with that. The effect of that, right? This is the same thing that happened before with other aunties that have come after me. It's just new because this is with another liver. We all know the thing that happened with Ren, and that makes sense, is because like I kind of stake my reputation on I don't like him. I like him, but I don't like him. And people are like, oh, well, you're fake. You're two-faced. You're double-sided, right? That how can I say that I like this person when I also state that I don't like this person? Now there's a new thing happening here. There's another liver, and you've already heard me talk about him before in some other capacity, maybe on TikTok, and so you probably, I don't think I have it anywhere on my YouTube right now. So I won't state the name, but there are people who come to my streams and they know who I'm talking about because they also see me. They watch those streams because they also want to hang out there because I'm there. Right? There's a space that is created where that person is there and I'm there, and so other people want to be around there because they like it, right? So that's that space that I'm in now, and that's the space I like to be like every day. That's the place I enjoy. The more I enjoy that space, the more I let go of things that happened in the past. And so now there are people who, follow my past. They come after me for the present, being all like, oh, well, we still don't like you. You're a dangerous person to be around. It always comes to like, this person's really dangerous and like effed up. They're totally crazy, psychotic, and they, they'll do anything, but actually they want to hurt the liver. They want to hurt this other streamer. They always come at this. Their understanding is a misunderstanding. I was like, you are really good at making assumptions based off of these unspoken rules that aren't real rules. They're all like, oh, well, based off of these unspoken rules that some people just agree to, a large majority of people abide by them, right? But I don't abide by them. That's what they don't like about me, is that I don't follow the unspoken rules. I know what they are. They tell me, oh, we'll just remember the rules next time. I'm all like, no, I knew the rules, and I broke them on purpose, deliberately, with confidence. And so I just, need to make that distinction. It's not that I forgot the rules. It's not that I didn't remember the rules. They're all like, oh, you should follow the rules next time. I was all like, I get what you're saying, but no. Like, I do things my way. I challenge things my way. If you follow me, you know that. If you dislike that kind of thing, leave. Like, you don't need to be here. I mean, I will welcome you here if you accept me, but if you don't accept me, you're not really welcome here. There's no point in you being here. Go somewhere else. I'm aware, I'm just listening. But you need to put them on the tray, then on the conveyor belt, but strictly no glass anything. Okay. You are technically allowed to bring metals. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but in a sense, what's tougher, metal or glass? But glass is sharp. I get that. But, like, metal is also sharp. Nope. My chip keeps breaking. No. I need, like, another chip to dip this other chip. Right, but my point is, I get people coming after me for when I disliked a person and the things that I did seemed hateful towards this person through their eyes. They kind of have more of a, from their perspective, stronger reason to come after me for stuff like that. But now they're coming after me, who has a really good relationship towards, and I'm talking like, fan and streamer, fan versus streamer, or person versus person. Like, I respect this person, but I also respect that they are a person, right? There are people who abide by the whole fan and streamer etiquette, where fans can only do certain things. To their assumption, fans should only do certain things and be prohibited from other things, and I'm all like, ha ha ha. I don't follow prohibitions. Okay? Like, I as an individual, when I want to say something, and I know that towards the other individual that it's going to be okay, I argue that it's going to be okay, and it does end up being okay, and it's fine. The other fans are like, no, we don't like that. But anyway, so there's a person I do not hate whatsoever, and yet those aunties or whoever, they come into my comment section being all like, I feel sorry for the liver. They don't mean me, not me, this liver. They mean the other liver, the one that I interact with, the one that I talk about. I'll just keep repeating that. They'll say they feel sorry for the liver / streamer. You know what I mean. So there's a streamer that I like to watch, and I interact with them. And things that happen on Twitter, because, like, if it's in stream, then the people on Twitter aren't really looking. The people who are in the stream are the ones who know. They are the knowers, right? So they know who I am. People who are just totally random on Twitter, they will just see something and apply their own hammers to my nails. But not everything's a nail, I have a screwdriver. What if these were screws? You're not going to hammer a screw. And so it just, that phrase kept repeating in my head over and over again, because this has happened before. It's like I've heard the same phrase over and over again, but this is towards a different person. Before, when it was all like, I feel sorry about sorry towards Ren because I exist. I'm around him, and they will say to me, I feel sorry for Ren because people like me exist. They're like, because people like you exist, I feel sorry for Ren. And now it's the same way with someone else, except I don't hate this other person. I like them. I genuinely like them. I watch their streams the most. I comment in their chat the most. Other people find that annoying. Because if you dislike me on Twitter, but then notice that I'm always there in chat for the streams, then you're gonna be like so annoyed that I'm always chatting. And then they get annoyed about how the liver, who they think doesn't like me, or they think should hate me, still reads my comments in chat and laughs. And like he says those comments to his friends when they're on VC and collab, and they laugh. I'm like, oh, I am a well adored and appreciated member of this chat when it comes to these other entertainers, right? I'm a streamer, they're streamers. I make a joke, they say the jokes. They laugh, we laugh, everyone laughs. But there are some people who don't laugh, they despise my guts. And again, the laughter tastes a little bit sweeter when you know that there's people who are preying on my downfall. So, you know, this is just a thing I wanted to state. A thing that I wanted to. Like, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be talking about this on stream, but because it was something that happened leading up to this stream and that I decided to have a talking stream today, maybe I chose to have a talking stream for two reasons. One, to talk about that because it happened. Two, because I wanted to keep the stream shorter, and I was gonna play games, but I think if I played games I was gonna get too tired, and I have other things that I have to do. So I think, you know, just to have more space for me to think and more energy for me to do, I'm going to have a talking stream today, and it's going to be kept shorter because there's something I want to do at 5, and if you knew more about my life, then you know exactly why I'm ending the stream at 5. Something like, many content creators get cooked on Twitter through YouTube, not naming obviously. Okay. Done seen. I've done seen. I don't see. I've seen many. Maybe it's I've seen many content creators get cooked on Twitter through YouTube, not naming obviously. Okay. I think that's what you probably meant to write. I have seen. Okay. Close enough. I've seen is the same as I have seen. So, you know, that's my life. Summary for anyone who's new. I was in an art show, and the 2 works that I submitted have been purchased. And things that have been happening recently on Twitter, there are people after my ass again. And I didn't even read all of the comments or quote retweets that this tweet that I made got. I already know what it's going to say. Like, there's no point. It's like Schrodinger's cat, but it's a tweet. If I check, I already know what it's going to be. If I don't check, it might not be that. But I know the only reason why they're quote retweeting is because they have something negative to say. That's really cool your art got purchased though. Yeah, no, that's really awesome. It makes me feel really affirmed that, like, hey, I know how to do this and it's desirable, right? A little bittersweet about, hey, sometimes I do art and it has value, it's good to know that my art has value, but then it really sucks that when you do art and it becomes devalued, in that, you know my lore, and that struck me for a very long time when that happened. Other things that have happened. There was a Ren birthday collaboration merch with a cafe called Tea Cafe. They're in like Denver, Colorado. And I bought some of their stuff. It has now since arrived. And since when I made the order, I'd been thinking about how did I want to customize this shirt. And so a little bit, most of the reason why I was late to my own stream is actually because I was working on customizing this shirt. Because for the time that it took to ship here, I was coming up with ideas. And so I've been doing some of those ideas that I've been thinking about onto the physical shirt itself. I am actually wearing the shirt. You can't see it, but I am wearing the shirt with some of the modifications I've made. I was taking my time looking at it and assessing in the mirror what other things I want to do. And I'm a little scared because it does involve scissors. Like, this is a quote-unquote expensive t-shirt. I do like the quality. It is fine on its own. However, it's not quite me. I want to express myself through modifying the clothes and doing something cool, right? Cool. So I have ideas on how to do something cool. I wanted to crop it really high is the problem. It's like once you cut it that high, like you've cut it, right? I wanted to make this really cute crop top. The problem is, and what's holding me back, I feel like I should still do it, but the reason why I'm hesitating on cutting it is because it will cut through the design on the back. There's a full art print on the back side, and I need to cut it strategically so it still looks good, and that the fabric that I cut off is still going to be used for something cool. Like, it's still, like, I'll still use it for something. And I wanted to put it back into the shirt. I wanted to cut the waist off and make it cropped, but use that fabric to extend the sleeves. So a little bit of a shirt surgery, if you will, or surgery. I'm gonna do a little bit of surgery. Okay, let me type that. Surgery. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of surgery. And it's all, it's like once I cut it, I can't uncut it. I'll probably just, and then there was like other things I wanted to do. I wanted to like do this other thing. But yeah, I guess I might have to, yeah, there's stuff, you know. I want to be sure. This is going to be one of those projects where I have to stare at it for a long time. I do want to get it done sooner than later, but I have to stare at it for a really long time to make sure I do the thing where I do it correctly and on the first try, which is really hard. Normally, it's all like, oh, you have to like mess up a couple of times. I don't have a couple of times to mess up. Okay, this is like now or never. Okay, there's one shot and one shot only. By the way, I realized something. Next week is your last stream before I graduate high school. My high school graduation is June 23rd. So let me double check the calendar. 23rd, Friday. Yeah, I stream on the 22nd next week, and you will be graduating on the 23rd. Nice, nice. I can wish you a happy graduation right before you graduate. Yippee! I don't know if you plan on coming to the stream next stream. I think like last stream you said you might not be able to go. I don't remember. I probably will. That's the last time you're gonna see me in live chat as a high schooler. Yo, that's sick. That's sick. Yeah, and then sometime later, I'm gonna be on break for a little bit, go on vacation, come back, have a few more streams, figure out what my next semester is going to look like. And we'll see if I have to shift some streaming stuff around. Like if I have to stream on the weekend or something. So hopefully there's going to be a good day that I can still stream next semester for school, during school, not for school, but during the same time that I have school, can I still stream? By the time that I come back, you'll have your high school diploma. Nice. Oh, by the way, I am using a different noise compression thing. So what I noticed is that while the other one is stronger and higher in CPU usage, it does a better job, but that it cuts out some of the noises I still want. So I'm going to be using a less intense, like right now I am currently using a less intense noise suppressor on my mic, and that there are noises that are happening, like people closing doors and people doing this, doing that, and whatever around the house. And I'm not sure if that audio is getting suppressed or if you can actually hear it. So if you hear some random noises in the background, it's because I'm using a different noise suppressor. And I will check later. Like, if I have time to go check this VOD again, that I'll see if the noise suppressor is worth using this one or the other one. Like, the one that works okay or the one that works better but has its own set of issues. Right? The pros and cons. I will look at the VOD and assess the pros and cons and decide which suppressor that I want to use moving forward. I don't want to like have to switch. It's not hard to switch back and forth, but I will lose track if I keep switching back and forth. 4 years later, haha. You're almost out of high school. Crazy. Oh, okay. I don't know if this is necessarily my place to talk about this, and if I should even say anything. I don't want to like start drama. I don't want to start drama, but I was sitting in a streamer's stream or their chat, and this person gets raided, and in the middle of the raid, a lot of new people, a lot of new faces come in, and that hiding amongst a lot of true fans, there's one person, one or two people whose accounts are very obviously not fans of the company to the VTuber that I watch. And we saw them comment really nasty things about the company and pointed at towards the Liver, even though the Liver is perfectly innocent. The Liver has done nothing wrong. They are a very nice, kind, hardworking person. Very funny. And it like broke my heart. It broke my heart to like see that and know how frustrating it must be for the Liver. And also I could feel how frustrated I was as a commenter who, with no power of my own, could get this person to stop. Right? No matter anything that you comment asking them to stop, and so I didn't ask them. I just kind of waited to see what the Liver was going to do. And so I was just sitting there waiting, very frustrated, because I couldn't call them out in the same capacity as if I was the streamer. Because if they came into my chat, I would have something to say. But they came into somebody else's chat, and I was just watching, and then we had to wait for the streamer to do something about it. And it felt so, like I felt like I didn't have power to be able to change something that I feel like in this situation, you want something to become more positive out of this negative situation. In the end, it became a positive situation. But I mean, I think with things that I've seen on the internet where someone who's a blatant hater comes out and attacks you who is innocent, you actually can propel someone's like visibility and reach in both directions. That person gets more hate, and the person who is innocent proves that they're innocent and is celebrated for being like the bigger person, the hero, this person who's doing the right thing by stepping up in the right way, in a non-abrasive way, in a way that's like, hey, I'm just a guy. I really do want to at least say my thanks to that. I know I could trust that he would make the right move, and he did. It did take time for everyone to like process and gather everything together and be all like, what do you officially want to make a statement about? And then so he makes his statement, and I'm all like, I feel so relieved, right? I'm like, yes, this is our guy. This is our guy who does it right. And so that's why I'm happy to always watch his content, is because you just know he's straight up a good guy. It is very rare to find good people on the internet, but when you do find good people on the internet, you choose to support them because they bring more good into this world. So, oh. I see that. Question. On Streamlabs, it shows your comment. On YouTube, it shows that your comment was retracted. I don't know, is that YouTube's auto moderation, or did you delete your own message? I feel like how the chat CSS is supposed to work is that if you delete, if the comment gets deleted, I feel like it's also supposed to get deleted off of my screen. You did it. Okay, well, let me do this. I'm gonna hit refresh. I'm gonna make it disappear. Ta-da! It's gone. I see that it's gone off of YouTube. I feel like I should probably also take it off screen if you didn't want it to be shown on screen. But also, I mean, you wrote the comment. If If you regretted it after, you should have thought twice before sending it in the first place. I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just a protect yourself on the internet way, which clearly I do not do enough of. I certainly do not protect myself from getting hate. I just know how to protect myself after the hate happens. The hate is always going to happen. You could literally be the nicest person, right? That other streamer, literally the nicest person, has never done anything bad, has never done anything to upset any other person, yet people come after him being upset. And so you're all like, you just accept the fact that there's people in life who are just going to be like that, right? And then you need to develop the life skills to be able to handle that maturely. You can handle it however way you want to handle it, but then once you handle it, people will see how you handled it, and they will start making a judgment, being all like, sorry, I distracted myself. So, depending on how you handle things, and if people are watching how you handle things, they'll form new ideas about you, or the same ideas about you. They'll make their judgment, being all like, I agree with what you said and how you stood up for yourself. Or there's going to be people who are like, I disagree with how you stood up in this situation. And so, that is why when hate happens, and it is inevitable, it is as inevitable as death and taxes, haters. And so, you can literally be the nicest person. Sometimes, there will be people who are so nice that haters will just be, a part of them jealous of how popular and nice this person is, and they're all like, I wish I had attention, I'm gonna generate attention by being hateful towards this person, and people will start looking at them. They're like they're just standing in the shadows of someone else who stands brighter, right? And so just know that if you shine brightly on the internet, there will be someone standing in the shadow that you cast. The brighter you shine, the larger the... Sorry, someone was... Okay. Anyway, the brighter you shine, the larger shadow that you cast, and there are going to be more people standing in that shadow, looking at you. And, yeah. They're gonna have something to say, and it's just misguided, right? It's... Okay. I see that the mic is... I am going to change my mic settings, actually. There are people who are being a little bit louder. Okay. There are people who are being a little bit louder in the house, and I can see that their noise activity is getting picked up by the mic. Like, there's a little green bar that, like, fluctuates up and down, right? So, I'm gonna turn on the stronger suppressor, and you're not gonna hear those noises in the background. If the house was perfectly quiet, I wouldn't worry about it. But because there's actually other people in this house actively doing things and talking and whatnot, and you can hear it, and the mic is picking it up. Most importantly, the mic is picking it up, and I kind of don't want that to be in the VOD. So, I mean, I'm gonna turn on the better suppressor. If you hear less of the smaller noises, and, you cut out more of the fan, that's also good too, right? You're not hearing the background, you're not hearing the fan, you're not hearing this, you're not hearing this. Like, I think I'm gonna click my mouse. Ah, okay, see, I can click my mouse, and then the whatever will start determining, oh, this is a mouse clicking sound, and it'll actually erase that sound. So you'll hear the mouse click, and then if you keep clicking, it'll dampen out the mouse. It'll, like, understand. I don't know how it does this, but it's all like, oh, this is the mouse. We're going to cut out the mouse sound if you keep hearing the mouse sound. Let me... Okay, yeah, like something with the keyboard. I don't think you hear the keyboard. The mouse might be loud enough to actually register. Maybe if I make it really far away. Yeah, if the mouse is really far away, you can't hear the mouse. But if the mouse is really close to the mic, so actually you probably can hear the mouse if I keep clicking. Here's the mouse up close. Ta-da. Drop something. I have to go pick that up later. I put something down. It knocked something else over. That thing fell. And I hopefully haven't lost it forever. Okay. It is now 4:14 on my clock. I will be heading off around 5:05. And yeah, those are some of the other things I wanted to talk about. Is literally just like turning on the camera, becoming a VTuber, being all like, hey, there's this person on the internet that I like. Right? That person's not gonna see this video. If you see this video, leave. Everyone scatter. And so there's going to be a lot of empty breathing room. Oh, can I see your chest? I see everything that shows up right here. Do you see anything that is this? I'm basically reading this. If it shows up here, I'm reading it. So I just wasn't reading out all of the things. It was just because like I was thinking about my own story, so I wasn't necessarily reading chat. It does show up. If it shows up right here on screen, that's what I'm reading off of. So yeah, you had written a comment earlier stating 14 when I met you, currently 18, and that you had deleted it, and then I had refreshed my chats just in case you wanted the comment deleted off of the screen, but then you were like, oh no, it's okay, and then so you just stated the same comment again. I wasn't talking about anything inappropriate, Saitai. The comment was this. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to say that. I would never type anything that's not appropriate to say on here. I always think before I type. Can you see my chats? Yeah, I can see your chats. Yeah, I was just like, I don't read every like I read it in my head, but I don't necessarily state all of the chats on screen. Like I won't verbalize all of them. It's just sometimes maybe I think I've already said it, or maybe I was just choosing not to say it. But it's like, you know, I read if I feel like it. I feel like reading most chats. It's not typically. I was only clarifying. Yeah, no problem, no problem. And so, but yeah, I wanted to pull a little bit of a risky move and just start saying, like, hey, there are people I watch on YouTube and I really like them. Just in the same way that you watch some silly VTuber person on YouTube and you really like them. Yeah. But it's just been really hard to be a fan. Like, I want to be a fan and I express being a fan a lot towards these other, you know, streamers. And just, I was having some thoughts with myself last night, like in the deep 2-3 a.m.s of the dark abyssal night, and I was having these thoughts about uh how I don't necessarily regret what I do because I still want to do it. Like I don't think it was necessarily a mistake that I regret. It's just a reality that's painful that I have to deal with is that the more I show that I'm a fan of certain things and there are people who really dislike me are going to make me not like being a fan just so that they can kick me out. They want me to feel so bullied that I leave. I don't want to leave. This is like that place that I go to where it makes me happy. Like I'm not going to leave that. They're unhappy with me being there and they want to be able to enjoy the liver for themselves, even if it means selfishly getting rid of a person in their chat that that streamer does like, but because they dislike me, they want to bully me off of the internet and off of the internet spaces. But do they not realize that the more they aggro me, the more that they push me, I will push back. I don't give up easily, right? If I gave up easily, I wouldn't be in most of this mess, but I wouldn't be where I am had I not fought. It's hard to be a fan. Yeah, I follow etiquette regardless of how I'm feeling. See, that's smart that you actually do follow etiquette and protect yourself on the internet. I take on the risk when I break certain etiquette. I'm not like, I seem so formal. I seem so, right, like, righteous. No, but if you really know me, no, I don't have etiquette. No, no, I don't. And it's really hard to verbalize that and express stating on the internet, no, I don't follow etiquette, because people are going to be like, that's how unetiquette of you to state that you don't follow the etiquette. How come you don't follow the etiquette? People. Right. I have two things I do, Sai. Etiquette and discipline. Yeah, you actually have discipline. I used to have a lot of discipline, but now what I have is not discipline for myself. It's disciplining others. That's what I do. I discipline others when I know that for sure what they did was not correct. I will state, hey, you are wrong for calling me out for saying that I'm wrong. It is wrong of you to do that. And then they're like, damn it. They're like, I hate you even more now. Because technically, other people will take my side because what I'm saying is true. If they call me out for something BS, and I call them out even louder on their BS being BS, then more people support my side. And they're all like, but aren't I the one who's right calling you out on this bad thing? And I'm like, no, I am correct for calling you out for calling me out falsely. What you were calling me out on the grounds of does not exist. You are calling me out on something invisible and not real. And I state, oh, but there's this other very real thing that you are actually breaking. And then so, welcome to my casket. That's the song. I didn't ask you yet. Welcome to my casket. Feel free to stay here. But, you know, people try to use that song against me. And if you know the origins of that song, it's not going to work. Because I know where the origins of that song come from. I discipline myself hard every day. Not like in a bad way. You already know why. Yeah. I'll probably be on live for about 40 more minutes. I'll jump off. I have snack to eat. It smells good. It's potato chips, but like fancy potato chips. I didn't buy them. They were in a subscription snack box that my brother is subscribed to and he purchases, and they send him more snacks than he can actually eat, so I end up going through the box and taking snacks that I want. Hmm. I feel like there is MSG on these potato chips, and it makes them taste delicious. They almost taste a little bit like those honey butter chips too, but I don't think it on the packaging it states that these are honey butter chips. They're kind of close to it. I'm getting tired. You know, last night I didn't sleep until 2 or 3 a.m. That was me too. I was up till like 3 or 4 a.m. 2, 3, or 4 a.m. I didn't actually check the clock. I just know that I was up. So I slept in today. I didn't have classes. I knew I wasn't streaming till later. And then I decided to work on customizing my t-shirt so I can wear it at like a con. My goal is to customize this t-shirt so it's done in time for the con. Kind of curious what this tastes like with the hummus. Mm, that's really good. I like the sweetness in the chip, and I don't know why it's sweet. It's kind of cutting back the acid, the acidity, the acidness of like I have roasted garlic hummus. And it's kind of I don't want to say pointy because that's not the correct word, but kind of like sharp, kind of like oh you have sharp cheddar. And then some people are like I will be like oh it tastes pointy, and then other people are like is that why it's called sharp cheddar? But yeah, anyway, I guess I have some sharp hummus, some nice sharp hummus, and some really mellow chips. You were working so hard, disciplined yourself. You wrote, but eventually you were so sleepy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Later, something I need to do. I probably won't say it on stream, but I just remember there's something I need to do. So when this stream ends, I have to go do that immediately, and then do the other thing that I wanted to do. Oh my god. Oh, there's some shaking in the house. Like, I don't understand why people, like, they stomp. They stomp across the hallway. I swear, it shakes the house. You can walk. You can literally just walk across the hallway. Like, how are they? Who just stomps, right? I don't understand. I don't understand kids who stomp. But yeah, it kind of scares me every time someone who just stomps across because they're going in between two rooms, and my room is in the middle of that hallway with where they open the door, get out of their room. Like, dude, how hard do you have to be stomping that my mic shakes? But yeah, you can walk across the hallway and then not shake the freaking house. It it scares me every time when the house shakes and you just hear stomp, thump, 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 thump. You want to stay up till 5 a.m.? Trust me, you shouldn't. Oh, your household is quiet right now, but my neighborhood being so loud, police come through like every day. Yeah. Yes. Please, for your sake, do not stay up till 5 a.m. It is not good. Not very many good things come out of staying up till 5 a.m. You'll usually just wreck your sleep cycle and take forever to recover. Like, I swear, stealing 1 hour of sleep away from yourself on one day will need, like, for some reason, 4 hours of extra sleep to feel like you've recovered that energy. I don't know. It's you don't get much out of that extra hour or like extra few hours that you stay up. I forgot there's like a specific term for this. It's called like I can't think of it right now at the time, but it has something to do with the I might be able to think of it. It's when you something revenge procrastination or something, bedtime revenge procrastination. It's where you get revenge on the day. Sorry, there's just more noises. Revenge, bedtime revenge procrastination or something like that. And it's where when it's bedtime and you want to feel like you want to reclaim everything that was taken away from you, and you want to quote unquote relax. However, you're just doom scrolling. It's just doom scrolling, but with a fancier name for it. And so you procrastinate going to bed. So it's bedtime. You're procrastinating on going to bed because you still want to be awake, and you feel like this disobedience. To be obedient, you go to bed. But to be disobedient, you're all like, I'm not gonna go to bed yet. I want to be on my phone. I want to stay up. So it's like something called something like revenge bedtime procrastination or something. If you were to give it a label, it's something like that. And so, I mean, guilty. I'm saying it and bringing it up, and I know what it is, yet I still do it. Don't do it. It's really you. I know the health effects. There are a lot of bad health effects of doing that repeatedly, over and over again, all the time. And so I've been living with those consequences. On days where I don't do it, I genuinely feel better the next day. Like, you know how much your life actually feels better, your health is significantly better if you don't do that the night before. You done wreck your sleep cycle, or you have wrecked it. I done wrecked it, or I have wrecked my sleep cycle. I slept less than 3 hours this morning. Exactly. Exactly. See? You know what it's like. You did it. And it's gonna feel awful the next day. Um, Doing that sets you up for a worse day the next day. Like, you're almost guaranteed to automatically already have like a crappier day, crappier than what it was already going to be. It would just like deduct a few points off of the next day from what you can even enjoy, because your body is going to feel like crap. And so, like, I am not the shining, brimming epitome of health. I'll tell you that. I, like, I shouldn't say I wish I exercised more. I know I should actually exercise more. Saying that I should exercise more just means I haven't been exercising. I have not really been exercising. And so like one of these days, I have to figure out a way to at least get myself outside more often, because I did feel really nice when I took myself outside for a walk, and it was really good. It was really good for me. I just yeah, I'm just in this state of my life where a lot of bed rotting happens. I physically couldn't get up and wanted to lay back down, so I had to drag myself out of bed for school. Yeah, no, exactly. If you do that thing where you push yourself up way, 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 way too late. Like if it's an hour, sure, fine. But like if you push yourself past way too late, way, way much far too late later than anyone could possibly recommend, that the next morning you are going to feel so bad you will barely be able to get up. You just want to keep lying back down, and you will have to, if you need to get up, end up dragging yourself out of bed to do something like work or school. So, I mean, in terms of the way that I should treat my health, if I had a plan for it, it would be at least to begin by cutting back on time I spend on my phone. That would improve my health for a multitude of reasons. One, so I don't look at hate comments all the time. And two, so I can actually get some proper sleep. Three, or not like three necessarily, but like, so another thing, like in my plan of how to get my life a little bit more on track is go outside. Spend a little bit more time outside. I don't not go outside, but the time that I do spend outside, I think I should spend a little longer outside. I think it's going to help me a lot by going on this vacation that's coming up soon, is that I will be forced to be outside. Mandatory grass touching. But while I still have you here, I just want to say nice things about the livers I like to watch, hee. And just have it stated on record. I think they're very cool people. I like them. Sorry that people come after me saying that they're sorry that for you that I exist. I want that on record. Yeah, I realize that now. I can't physically sit up anymore and I want to sleep so bad. Yeah. Revenge bedtime procrastination. Hee 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 hee. Um, but yeah, there's more eyes on me, and on the internet, you can feel more eyes are on you, that you're being watched and scrutinized. Scrutinized and labeled a social pariah. And so it leads to being an anxious person who overthinks everything that they do. And so a lot of what I do is gonna be like, oh, I'm thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. That's like me all the time. It's just something always feels like thinking about that and that and that and that and that thing that happened, and I thought about that thing that happened, and I think about this thing that happened, and this thing that happened, and there was this thing that happened, and that thing happened, and I didn't feel good, and like that other thing happened and didn't feel good. And the other, like, I notice all these things and just labeled, hey, that didn't make me feel good. There will also be the times where I do something and I notice that it does make me feel good, and I label, hey, I did this thing and it did make me feel good, right? Like, hey, I did go outside and touch grass and it did make me feel good. Hey, I did encourage myself to get my work done. That made me feel good. Hey, I did this thing that I was putting off, like something, making an important phone call for something. I made 2 important phone calls. That's like really big for me. Is I was putting off making 2 important phone calls, and then I finally made 2 important phone calls, and I did it. I'm really proud of myself for that, because it would cause more complications down the line if I didn't
make those phone calls. But that's not really necessarily the reason that got me to. I mean, it's like one of the reasons, right? One of the reasons why you do something now is because you know later down the line it's going to be worse if you didn't do it sooner than later. Yeah, so there's that. That stuff that happened, and it keeps happening. And I'll label those things. I'm really just speaking stream of consciousness right now. There's. Oh, oh, sleepy. You're about to fall asleep? Me too. Me too. Me too. And. But yeah, being on YouTube, being on a place where other people can find this video, me being on stream, me publicly just putting myself out there, where someone can walk in and see what I'm saying, hear what I'm saying, or see what I'm doing and hear what I'm saying, right? It can give you a lot of anxiety about, like, you're not going to be able to please everybody, right? So there's always going to be, I say something and someone's going to react poorly to it. And so, like, I feel like I don't want to feel defeated. Like, oh, I give up. I'm done with this. I don't ever want to come to a point where I'm all like, I give up, I'm done with this. Like, I've done that before. There was something where I was like, yeah, no, I give up and I'm done with this. But I knew why. It was like, that was the right thing I needed to do in that moment. But if it's not what I need to do, then I'm not going to do it. If giving up is not the right thing to do, I'm not going to give up. If giving up is actually the correct thing to do by my own standards, then I will do it. There was a time when I didn't want to give up on something, and I knew it wasn't the time to give up on it yet. And oh my goodness, there's a lot of. They're so loud at closing doors. Why do they keep opening and closing these doors? Just leave the doors open if you're going to be walking in and out of them over and over and over and over again. So I apologize if you hear like slamming doors in the background. These people don't know how to be quiet. Like, oh, talk about bad etiquette. Oh, one of these people who's like moving back and forth like this hasn't washed their dishes in 4 days. Okay, and I'm really pissed about that because one person messages the group chat being all like, hey, let's get our chores done. I message below that stating, hey, there's been dishes sitting in the sink for 3 days and it's not been done yet. And then the next day, it's the fourth day, I check. The dishes are still there. Someone didn't wash their dishes for 4 days. It's really gross. Also, like, you're just making this harder on yourself the longer you put this off, right? Because we all know it's your dishes. We all know which person in the house this is, right? I will respect you less. I hardly have any respect for this person left at all because of just they keep doing this. I don't want to talk about a lot of this kind of stuff, put it on stream. This is a lot of stuff that I've already talked to about a lot with other people, but it's not necessarily the kind of thing, like the stuff that happens in this house. I don't really necessarily want to mix that in with the streamer life and put this out on the YouTubes for people to know about what's happening. But I do wish that, their sort of behavior doesn't kind of leak into this stream. But I think the noises that, even with the better sound compressor, I can see that the green little bar, the audio thing, registers the sound of when their doors are opening and closing, or when they're like stomping across the hallway. Like, I turned on the better sound compressor and you can still hear them. I believe it is being recorded and outputted, and I apologize for that. There's literally nothing I can do. normally they aren't. Okay, those people are moving out soon anyway, so it's literally just I have to bear with it a little bit longer, right? You don't hear it that much, TBH. Yeah, it's a lot quieter because it's suppressed on your end, but it doesn't get suppressed on my end. I hear it at full volume in real time, right? It's happening to me in this house right now at this instant, and I have to hear it. It will break my conversation. Like, I'll be in the middle of saying something, and then I hear a noise, and I wait for the noise to stop. I don't speak through the noise because, like, it just does interrupt me. That just is the thing that happens, is that a noise happens, it'll interrupt whatever I was saying or doing, and then I wait, and then I continue. I don't know if that's like a some kind of safety response, being all like, oh, there's a noise, like I'm like some gazelle or antelope being all like, a noise. Okay, keep eating. I don't know. It kind of feels like that, right? Like some sort of survival instinct where if you hear a noise, a loud, sudden, sharp noise out of nowhere, that you are just alert, and then, okay, then you fall back into your regular resting pattern. You're like, oh, okay, things are okay now. But I'm all like, oh, 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 oh. You know, there's just all these other things that are happening around me, and I don't want them to be. But fact of the matter is, it is going to happen. So I'm just dealing, right? I'm just dealing. You hear noise so often it doesn't scare you. That I wish it was like that for me, but for me it's not like I hear noises so often I'm always anxious. Once it's okay, this is a thing about like why people sometimes push themselves to stay up really really late to the point that no one else is awake except them, is because the house will be perfectly quiet and you're like, wow, I finally get some peace and quiet to myself. So it's always very tempting, right? You're all like, everyone is asleep, there are no sounds, and it's quiet. That's why I stay up, right? That's what I get out of it. That's why people do it. However, it comes at a cost, and I pay that cost every time, but it feels as if I gain peace. You will wreck your body, but at least you get like that moment of peace where it feels peaceful. Right? I don't want to be awake right now when all these other things are happening. I'd rather be asleep. But when nothing else is happening and everyone's choosing to go to sleep right now, I'm like, no, this is the best time. I want to stay awake. It's exactly why I stay up. Yeah, exactly. No, you have noises that happen. And once the noises are gone, you're like, oh, I feel at peace. Like, oh, I feel more creative. Like, oh, I feel like I don't have all this inner turmoil. Like, I actually like living. And then something, somewhere reminds you why you don't like living in the first place. And you always have to be the constant reminder of like, no, I'm going to keep living because I know life is worth living. You're like, damn it, life is worth living. Shit. Crap. I gotta convince myself that life is worth living. I don't wanna, you know? Hello to people who are joining the stream. Hi, welcome. We were talking about revenge, bedtime procrastination, and noises, right? Noises that happen, they're sudden, they scare you, they interrupt you, and so they happen throughout the day. But then when it's nighttime, I'm explaining the reason why it feels so tempting to partake in revenge bedtime procrastination. It's just because it offers you peace from your really hectic world. However, it comes at a cost, and you pay that cost. You knowingly, for the most part, knowingly, unless you don't pay, you pay that cost of how much it feels like it wrecks your body, and then that the next day you just start off the next day on the wrong foot. You're already tired. You didn't get enough sleep last night because you did that. So then you try to stay in bed longer, but then you have to like rush out of the house feeling a lot less prepared. Maybe you might forget things that are important for school or work. So you will exchange. You do that thing and you will get an exchange out of it. But you know what you're paying, you know what you gain. You know what it costs. Your life is your choices to make. It should be your choices to make. I hope that no one else is making choices for you. That might be the reality that you live in, but you, for as much as you can, take agency of the kinds of actions you can make in your life. I gotta convince myself to not go crazy with all nights because I pay for it and unable to keep my head up in class. Yeah, exactly. If you like do an all-nighter or whatever, scratching my neck. Give me a sec. If you do an all-nighter, it's just gonna be awful. Awful, 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 awful. You'll end up just taking like a nap at 3 p.m. You'll just crash out. Guaranteed. You're just gonna crash out. Or you're just gonna like, I swear, I feel like pulling one all-nighter takes like a month off my life. I feel like I'm just going to live. I'm going to become deceased 1 month sooner for every. These are not real statistics. It just feels as if my lifetime is getting shorter every time I do like an all-nighter. Kind of like every time you go to a fast food restaurant, I swear it takes like a week off your life or something. Maybe just like a day, maybe a day off your life. Your however many days you're going to live in life, I feel like every time I eat fast food, I take off 1 day in my life. However, it feels good. It feels bad, but it also feels good. You're all like, yum, fast food. Yum, I don't have to do the dishes or I don't have to cook or something. It comes at a cost. Everything literally has a pros and a cons, a cost and an exchange. What do you gain for everything that you pay? For me, I think a lot of life is transactionary. I do something, I get something out of it, and somebody else takes something away from it or something, right? I always try to make positive transactions where I can give something away, but I get good value out of it, and someone else gets good value out of it. Those are the best kinds of actions to live by. So, like, for example, say I put energy, that's a cost, into streaming. However, I get good out of it. I'm all like, oh, I feel better being able to do this, express myself, and stream, and be able to speak with you and whatnot. And that puts me in a better headspace. It makes me feel good. And for other people, they get good out of it too. They're like, hey, I'm like sitting here watching and listening to a stream, and I get good out of it. So that's what I mean. You can make those exchanges where you pay a cost, but what do you receive out of it? And do you receive net positive out of it? Do you get even more good out of it? Does more good come from the good? I crashed out last night. I was doing English homework and told myself, just do more, just work more. Come on, that's not discipline. That's actually just torture. But eventually, your brain was so tired it begged you to put it all away. Yeah, exactly. The brain is listening to your body. Your body knows it's like weak and needs to rest, and your body is giving you signals, being all like, "Hey, you're sleepy, you're tired, you've worked enough, you should put it away." Your brain was smart. Your brain was smart to tell you that. And you're a smart person if you listen to that and actually follow what your body was telling you to do was to rest and put away your work. But yeah. Some people call it discipline to be able to push themselves like that, keep pushing themselves, push themselves, push themselves. I think it's foolishness. Like if you ignore what certain signals your body has to send you, and you ignore it, wouldn't it sound foolish if I said, hey, your body is telling you symbols to keep you safe and you don't listen to it and it puts you in a more dangerous situation? If you view it like that, then you know that pushing yourself is actually foolishness. So it's about conditioning and what you've been taught, because some people were taught that hardworking, this ethic, that ethic, this pushing yourself, working hard, it could be a good thing. But don't, but just come with the understanding that it's not always a good thing, right? The whole too much of a good thing is not a good thing, right? So hard work is a good thing. Too much hard work, not a good thing, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. You should do hard work. Push yourself when you feel willing, capable, and able, and whatnot, whatnot. Willing and capable, right? You are able to do it if you're willing and capable. But, um, you know, listen to your body when it tells you you've worked too much. Because if you push past that point, oh, you're just asking for trouble at that point. Your body will know it feels like crap. Okay, it is 4:54. I will leave. I'll probably try to wrap up the stream at my 5 o'clock. I have to move my car and do something important, and then I will continue to do some other stuff. And I will... trying to think. Because I have some chores that need to get done today, right? I'm trying to think if I want to do them sooner or a little bit later. I think... okay, I need to move my car. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move my car, but then I'm gonna take a small little break because I'm streaming. It feels like a break, but it also feels like work. So I'm gonna rest up a little bit before I head into doing more work again. Right? I'm just like preserving part of myself, recharging a little bit more, and then I'll keep doing some other work that I need to do. That's needs to get done today. You honestly need to eat. You physically can't stay up much longer. No, exactly. You should eat. Like, if that's what this is Munch with a Bunch. It's literally the time designated so that we eat together and talk. I know I'm having snacks. I should eat some real food, but real food will come at dinner time. I'm gonna be having sundubu jjigae. I don't know how to say that correctly, but it's soft tofu soup. The Korean style soft tofu soup. I love soft tofu soup. You're gonna eat Chinese takeout? Nice. Nice. I feel like I haven't had Chinese takeout in so long. It's because, like, for my family, we go out to eat at a Chinese restaurant. We don't order out Chinese food and eat it at home, if anything. Because Vietnamese food, some of it is similar to Chinese food. My mom will also just cook Chinese food at home, if I was at home. Like, some foods are just, like, translations of each other or, like, adaptive versions of each other, where this food originated in, like, Chinese, and then we just have like a Vietnamese version of that dish. So my mom will just make a Vietnamese take on a Chinese dish, and I would eat quote unquote Chinese food at home, right? We don't need takeout unless it's like dim sum. I love dim sum, although I love eating it there. It's so much of an experience to eat it there. That's a fair point. If you don't want to be in the restaurant, then yeah, eat the takeout. Yeah, sometimes eating at the restaurant is like not the move. I understand that. That makes sense. Okay. I will have to be wrapping up the stream quite soon now, actually. So, we should all say our goodbyes. See you next week. I don't know what I will play next week, if I'm playing a game, or if we're having another talking stream, or, it's sort of like play by ear. I'll decide either the night before or the day of, and I'll be all like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, right? Eating at restaurants makes me overwhelmed. Like, I couldn't even stand eating at school dinner, at your school dinner, because you were overwhelmed. But yeah, I hope that you enjoy your Chinese takeout food. I hope that any viewers who are here, who are lurking, have a good rest of their day. I hope that anyone who catches the VOD also has a good rest of their day. Hi, VOD gang. I don't forget about you. It is fun when I talk to the people who come to the stream, but I understand that, everyone has their schedules, and if you can't make it to the stream, honestly, no offense taken. No offense taken. I wish I could make it to every single stream that I want to make to, but like I literally know like it's not possible, right? There's like some of the streams I want to watch and it's never in the time zone I want to watch. It's never on the day that I want to watch it. Whoever sees this VOD, hi. Laylee's the moderator, yes. Lazy is one of my moderators from TikTok, and now that I've moved over from TikTok to YouTube, they have also been awarded moderator. If Matt shows up one day, hi Matt, hi Matt's mom. Like, I will also award them the moderator badge. There's a sound in the house that sounds like a bird, but there should not be any birds in this house. What on earth? There's like a sound that sounds like a bird. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I gotta... yeah, I gotta head off. I gotta head off now. I gotta get ready. I gotta do things. I gotta move my car. Bird? Yeah, bird. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for munching with the bunch. I hope to have more of this in the future. Just munch with the bunch. And see you later. Good night.